call the meeting of the Board of Health of February 5th to order. First item on the agenda for new business is acceptance of the minutes of the January 8th meeting.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the monthly development services report submitted by Matthew Sheehan. And the first item is the monthly inspection report. Hi.
Hello, everybody. As you can see, the Outback passed its last 3 inspections, so we're going to go every other week, probably for the next month or two, just to make sure that they're still staying in line with the correction of action plan that was put out. But like I said, they have been good for the last 3 inspections, so that's good. There was one minor fire on Central Street, but they were only closed for about a day. Second page of the report, second or third page of the report is, back in the summertime, I had came to you folks about the tattoo shops, and those inspections were done in July, so 6 months. I had done them at the end of January. Every single business, every single tattoo shop and microblading establishment successfully passed their inspections. And we had brief discussion back in July that comparable cities to Lowell do theirs every year. So I would ask, if it was the pleasure of the board, that we could move these inspections to once a year as opposed to every 6 months.
Right.
I'm not opposed to that. I do have one exception I'd like to make, which would be a new establishment, that maybe a year is too long for somebody that just opens up a new business. Maybe it should be 6 months for that first year,
Yep.
and then go annually after that.
Absolutely, that's fine, yes, yeah. I mean, other than that, that's really the biggest thing in the report.
Quick question, on the new inspections, the MCC cafeteria was listed as new. Is it new in terms of us inspecting it, or?
No, ma'am. So they had the cafeteria over at Middlesex, COVID pretty much killed that, and then they used their storage for a little while, so their cafeteria is back.
Oh,
So I went over there and conducted, they were closed for so long, it's a new, I consider it a new inspection.
oh, I see, I wondered.
Yep.
Okay.
So they have a private company. I'm not sure of the company off the top of my head. It's like an Aramark, just like the university has. So yeah, their kitchen is in full swing, and I guess the students really love it. So
Great.
Well, I need a proposal.
There's a
I don't know
motion
if-
with
but I
an
don't know if
amendment.
anybody else cares about that or not, I guess.
Anyone?
Well, I thought it was a good idea too for the microblading, the 2 new microblading places that we had, for them to be inspected in 6 months.
Bill, what's your motion?
My
To
motion is
have new inspections every 6 months for how long?
My motion is to change the current standard to whatever it's to evaluating them on an annual basis, except for new establishments would be evaluated 6 months and then annually.
I'd second that.
Do we need to vote?
Yes.
All in favor, aye?
I want to restate that. Q 6 months times 1 year, then annually.
Right.
6 months, then 12 months, then once a year, not
Right.
6 months and then
Yes.
annually after that.
So you want a second inspection?
Right.
You want
Correct. I
one
want
year.
2 inspections in the first year and then annually after that, yes. So,
Is that reasonable to you?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Anything else on the monthly development services report? Questions?
do we have to vote on that motion?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next item on the agenda is the tobacco control monthly report submitted by Caesar. He is not here this evening. Any questions on his report? He noted that there were 11 establishments that had opted not to renew their tobacco permits. Does anyone know, is that more than usual?
I believe it is up from last year, that is correct. But a few people have come in recently, so now there are some new establishments that have taken over in those places or new places that have opened. And he did notice on here that there's been a lot of talk about kratom and people talking about like different forms of kratom or what they should be. There's a lot of education going around kratom. So like, what should they look for it in? Like, what should they be like looking out for? What ingredients should they be looking for? So there's a lot of talk about kratom.
Okay. Any other questions on the tobacco control report?
So, yes, so Chelmsford has had, they're having their second meeting. So one of their Board of Health members, so I've spoken to their health director and a Board of Health member called me. So I believe their meeting must have been, I believe it's this week. Okay. So, and then depending on what they decide, they'll be doing a public hearing. So they haven't gone to a public hearing. Seems like they're really on the fence as to what to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Drake had a meeting also.
Drake had reached out to me. I haven't heard anything further from them as to what they were doing. Yep.
They did have a Board of Health meeting, and we're going to propose banning it.
Right.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the body art establishment and practitioners permit renewals. We'll start with so the only one that we do not have valid information on yet is I Love Beauty at Mill Street. So I'm told we can't approve that facility license this evening. But we have Lowell Inc., Lupo Inc., Black Sheep Inc., Professional Body Piercing, and Heaven's Beauty with all the information available, right? Do we have a motion to approve those body art facility renewals?
Make that motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is the body art practitioner renewals. We have piercing and tattoo only, and then 2 for microblading. And these are personal practitioner renewals.
Really only each other two that come here on a regular basis to
Right.
visit us, right? I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Terry, do you have anything? Aye.
And no issues from your perspective, right?
Madam Director, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
So one of the practitioners is going to be practicing at the salon that you're not approving. So you're pending the salon.
We're approving a license for a practitioner that doesn't have a place yet to practice.
Correct.
Is that not doable?
I'm not sure. The cosmetology board. She's working on it. I mean, we can reach out to the cosmetology board to find, you can approve it, and we can reach out to the board to find out if there's an issue with that or not.
Carrie, for the vote, can you just note that I abstain for the 2 cosmetology? You can't vote on those. Thank you.
I'm sorry, for the 2 what? Okay.
Or we could put them both on the March and put them both together for the March and not approve either of them tonight.
My question for you is a requirement to get a license to practice and will require you to have a place to practice? Is that part of the requirements?
So you're required to practice at a licensed facility?
Correct, but that's not the same thing as you can only get a license if you have a place to practice.
No, I think you get your individual license first, and then,
Usually when the board approves people coming in for a shop and a license, they approve the shop first, and then the
I don't
person-
think that was the question.
No,
In
I,
the
yeah.
rules, the rules specify that when a person applies for a license to do tattooing or whatever in Lowell, they have to be able to, they have to put in their application a facility that's licensed in which they're gonna be practicing.
They need a letter from the person who owns a licensed shop as part of their package to get.
That is a required part of the package, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but,
But to become licensed,
You need, in your packet, you, when you first apply, you need a letter of hire from a licensed shop in Lowell.
Or if you're gonna set up your own shop, you set up the shop first.
First.
Yes, so that's
So
what I'm getting.
usually it says
right.
like a multiple establishment, so like if they have
Right.
multiple people under one establishment, that's the way that, when I see them,
So
that's the way I see it, is
The
that it has
regulations
multiple
also
people.
say if you move to another shop, you need to get approval from the board to move your
To
license
move
from
to
one
that shop,
to
okay.
another.
So to clarify, she really should have the shop first. I personally am not opposed to agreeing pending that approval, but that's whatever you think is best, Carrie.
so
that's what I'm thinking. Could we do it pending, could we do that, do the artist pending the approval of the shop and put the shop on for next month?
You could do the shop as pending them getting their license from the state.
So are these people
They
out
wouldn't have
of
to
work
come
right
back.
now until we approve it? Like, are we holding up their ability to like make a
it's,
living?
it's one person,
Because you can't control.
It's one person.
yeah.
And
It's
maybe
one
from-
person who owns Heaven's Beauty.
I think we
You
should,
can see, what?
I love you.
I Love Beauty.
Right.
I think we should just approve it pending the cosmetology board approval.
Yeah, because
If everything
then
else
if
is
they
done.
get back to them before our next meeting, then they should be able to.
Right. If everything else is in line,
Okay, so
aligned.
do we have a motion to amend the previous motion on the establishments that all of them are approved except for I Love Beauty pending her obtaining her the salon cosmetology license?
Sure, you said it better than I
Yes.
could.
So who would make that
Oh,
motion?
well, I don't, so,
That way she doesn't have to come back.
but, well, we also have to take up the individual
You would be able
license.
to do this the same way you would be
Do the
approved
same
her
thing. We're doing
license
separate things, same
pending
thing.
the shop getting its license.
So can I just add, if you want to do them pending her license, but then what we could do is we could ask for an update at the next meeting,
Right,
so that we make sure that it's on the agenda for the next meeting, so that the board is updated at the next meeting.
Right.
Would that suffice?
yeah.
So that it's on the agenda and you know what's going on at the next meeting? So you could vote on them pending her approval, but make sure that it's listed on old business for the next
Yes.
agenda so that the board knows what happened. Would that suffice the board?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if they get approved tomorrow, we don't want to hold them up for a month before they can start working. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'll make a motion to approve the I Love Beauty Corp. facility pending
State licensure.
state licensure.
Just need a second. And then, so then I have the motion to approve the practitioners excluding that one practitioner
Yep,
pending approval of the shop licensure.
correct, and once that's approved, she's approved. Right? Correct. If that's the second motion, I'll make that too.
So just to throw out the question. So when she learns that her facility was not, cannot be licensed, she has the valid information, she has an approved license, or has the information for approved license. She could request to work somewhere else.
Yes.
Right, and she would
that
just have to
go on
come,
the
she'd have to
market.
come back to our next board meeting and request that, yeah.
Yeah.
We good?
Okay.
We all vote
Just
on
need a
it?
second,
Oh.
Second?
and noting that Aaron
Is
is
abstaining,
from the
right.
vote.
You want to second it?
I already did.
Oh, you did.
How's that?
I'm shaking my head.
Oh, got it. Well,
My nonverbal confirmation for you, sir.
you're on TV, madam, so.
I'm just saying, it's my nonverbal confirmation.
Good? Are you good? The next item on the agenda is for review is the Pride Star report, overdose report, noting that the overdoses were down again in December.
Now we're in border control, it's not gonna have any at all pretty soon. It's cured.
All that fentanyl's getting started. Next item on the agenda for information is the avian flu press release copy in the packet. I think pretty much everyone knows that there have been outbreaks of the highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1 virus among certain wildlife. I was just going to raise the issue of, obviously, we have a river that runs through the city and a large population of Canadian geese, along with their droppings at certain parks, and I just wondered if maybe in conjunction with animal control and the health educator at the health department, Madam Health Director, if we were going to embark on any kind of education. I'm sure there's printed material already available from the Executive Office of Fisheries and Wildlife, et cetera, Agriculture, DPH. In terms of, I guess the major recommendation is to sort of keep your dogs away from geese droppings, but as we know, at least I'm aware in my neighborhood, Edwards Field, Hadley Park, and the walkway along the river, there's large populations of Canadian geese. So I didn't know if there was any recommendation for signs in that area or what your thoughts were.
So there hasn't been any recommendations for signs or anything like that yet because there hasn't been any dead birds found in the area. And the recommendation right now is that they would come out if there were 5 or more dead birds in the area. So this was the first press release that came out at the end of January. The Lowell Sun actually did a good article, I would believe it was at the end of last week or the beginning of this week, that was a full front page article saying what to do if you found an animal, don't touch it, pick it up, put it in the garbage unless it was 5 or more. And there's been quite a bit of press around this so far. So nothing yet around putting anything out as signs or anything like that. Obviously, with the ground being frozen, there's not much we can put in the ground or do anything. So it's just education around social media and things like that right now. So that's what we have as of this. We've had a few phone calls at the health department, not much so far.
Well, perhaps if they find some dead birds in Lowell,
Yes.
then we might consider additional educational
Yes.
material, since we know that not everyone has the pleasure of reading the local
Yes.
newspaper.
Yep. And then we would probably do something around, like, we do have a neighborhood liaison right now, hired through the manager's office. Eric is great. He would bring it to the neighborhood meetings and do things like that. So we do have a couple more avenues to get word out and things like that now, so.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda under old business is the monthly surveillance sampling for mold at the Pawtucket Memorial Elementary School. Everything looked good except for one room that was recommended to have additional cleaning in addition to the regular cleaning. That was done according to Mr. Underwood. The recommendation was also, it was not a classroom. The recommendation was also to resample in February, which I believe will be done.
Yes, I believe it's the 9th. So this weekend, beginning of next week, will be the next testing that will be done.
Okay. Any questions on the mold sampling at the Pawtucket Memorial? It was not a classroom. It was, a small room used for,
For occupational, yeah, occupational therapist room, a small room. And I don't know if that was the room that we had the picture for. I think some of the vents were blocked or something in that room, so, yeah.
okay.
It's already been cleaned. Yeah, I believe it was cleaned right after this report. Yep, you're welcome.
So the communication has improved, we're getting the reports in a timely manner. Mr. Underwood reached out and notified the health director that the room's already been cleaned. They've been responding to emails, is that accurate?
Yes, and then he had sent the date of the next cleaning. I mean, the date of the next report, so, yep.
Okay. Next item on the agenda are the departmental and divisional reports and updates. First item is the public health nursing, contact tracing, and epi report.
So the public health report is kind of fancy this time, so the epidemiologist did make it kind of fancy. You got the wastewater report and everything here, so you've got some fancy things here, so I hope you like it.
Excellent.
I do.
That's disturbing.
The 10-year, is it, oh yeah, the 9-year TB and latent TB numbers. You got graphs and everything here, yep. We've gone fancy.
I love it. So, I mean, I think the only thing you can say when they talk about the, there's so many more cases of flu than there is of COVID-19, there's less COVID-19 testing and reporting, right? So, I mean, you follow the water data better than
Correct,
just the testing and,
yes, so,
Data tell us that respiratory viruses are everywhere and our hospital's overrun by it.
yeah. Yes.
right. And we did just get a new batch of COVID test kits. Unfortunately, the test kits that the state's giving out are not COVID with flu, but we do have COVID test kits if anybody wants them. So we do have COVID test kits available at the health department. And we do give some here at City Hall, so if anybody wants to come to City Hall instead, they can get the COVID test kits. But obviously, the flu numbers are up higher than the COVID numbers right now. Hopefully, this is peak flu season, and after the kids are done with vacation week after President's Day, hopefully it will drop back down. This graph that you see here, I believe that the H5N1, they are testing in the wastewater for that, and the webinar that I saw this week with the state, they do expect that it will show in the wastewater because that is the waterfowl drop off from the wastewater that you'll see, so they don't want people to panic about that. That is not that human cases of H5N1, that is the wastewater drop off going into water.
Yeah, it's wastewater.
So our TB cases in Lowell are higher, but actually around the country, TB cases have skyrocketed even higher than ours. So, I mean, there's cases in other parts of the country. When you listen to the news, Kentucky's cases are even higher and people are dying of TB. So, I mean, we have high cases of TB, higher than what we've had of TB, but
Yeah, Kansas has an outbreak that's been going on for months.
correct. So, I mean, what we're seeing in the fact that, the amount of people that we're doing DOTs, drug observed therapy on, is manageable for the 2 public health nurses that we have. So, I mean, it is higher than what we've had, but we have manageable cases, so, yeah.
Just look what masking and isolation did for the TB cases in
Right.
2021.
Right.
Suggestion that we wear masks at
No,
all times?
no. I'm sure that would not be allowed right now. Any questions on that, or the school health report, or the substance abuse report?
So Andres did give you his fancy year-end report. So a new high of 18,270 syringes picked up. So he did give you his fancy year-end. He does have, he has had Tom on board, I want to say, since the end of the summer. But, he has taken more vacation time. He was out on an FMLA, so if we have 2 of them for the full year this year, we'll have even more, so that is,
How many years has he been doing this now?
so did he start in 2017?
Early was before COVID?
Yeah, he's been
Right.
since before
Or
COVID,
maybe
yeah.
then, yeah.
2017 to 2018.
Yeah, before, well before COVID.
So maybe it was 18, because I think it was 5 years, so, yeah.
That's a lot of sharps.
It is a lot of sharps. We'll have to get his all-time total.
Yeah. So in 2024, there were 18,270 syringes removed from the community by the syringe collection program. Okay. Any other questions on the report? Madam Director, do you have anything else you want to report?
The only other thing is that if anybody saw the city council meeting last night, I know that the Board of Health recommended for the council to ban rodenticide. That was for the rodent box, the black boxes. So that passed for the city council last night. There were a lot of advocates that went there to talk about that. So that will be in any municipal buildings, parks, or green spaces. So there's a lot of chatter on Facebook about that, and our Erin was there. A lot of our community partners are now talking about it in the greater Lowell area. So starting another trend from the Board of Health. Congratulations.
It was mostly positive chatter too. Like what I've seen so far has been pretty positive.
Yes. I think that's all I have.
You want to talk about your priorities?
Oh, yes. I did pass out, I didn't get it in time. The accreditation board did give a paper to pass out to you guys, but I figured I'd give it to you to read for the next time. Priorities, goals, and objectives for accreditation. And this is just some of the things that the people who are working on this for the from the health department have come up with, just some of the goals and stuff that they came up with. It's obviously, you guys didn't have a chance to look at it or make any changes to it. So I just wanted to pass it out to you, so if you have any changes to make for the next meeting. So this is the second part. The last time we did the mission, vision, and value, I think this is the second part of it. So if anybody has any changes, they want to email it to me. I think the group meets again the 3rd week of February. So, and I know that the consultants reached out to a few people to meet with them one-on-one, just to talk about, what the vision of the health department is, and to meet. I hope it's not too painful. So, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
Second.